regret to inform you that my story contains almost no sexual mishaps whatsoever. So, I'm sorry. Okay, congrats. Hello. I have never had a boyfriend. I'm 30 years old and I've never had a boyfriend where I'm like, you're my boyfriend, I'm your girlfriend, we're together, we're a couple. And so, like when I was in middle school, I was like, oh, you know, when you're in middle school, you get to have a boyfriend. Like one just like falls in your lap, figuratively. And I was like, yes, you know, whatever. And then it didn't happen. And then in high school, I was like, well, you know, in high school, you just have a boyfriend, right? That's normal, but it never happened to me. And then in college, it never happened to me. And then after college, it never happened to me. And so I was kind of like, geez, you know, what's going on here? I don't know. But so there's like a lot of aspects of life that I'm missing out on. Like, I am just identify as a perpetually single person. So I'm like, I don't know what it's like to meet your partner's friends and be like, I'm their partner, or meet someone's family, or go on vacation, or live with someone. I've never had any of these experiences. And so I'm just really naive about this part of life. I'm completely inexperienced in it. So, my friend, one time I was talking about flirting, and I was like, oh, blah, blah, flirting, and my friend was like, I can't imagine you flirting. I've never seen you flirt. I can't. And this is like my best friend. I was like, wow, you've never seen me flirt? Like, maybe I don't know how to flirt, and it's like unrecognizable as flirting. I don't know what's going on with that. Or like my brother said to me, he was like, Mom thinks you're gay. And I was like, oh no, I'm so close to my mom, you know, and I'm not gay, but I'm like, I feel like I need to like come out to my mom as being not gay and just be, get a date, you know, but then my mom and dad are like, think I'm so great, and I'm like their precious child, and they love me, and they're just like, why? Like, what is going on here? And I'm like, I don't know, like, because I'm tall, and nobody likes my personality. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, but anyway, finally I got, you know, to my late 20s, and I was like, okay, fine, I'm gonna try internet dating, because if you say that you want to date and you're not internet dating, then it's like you have no excuse not to internet date. If you wish to date and you're single, just, you know, bite the bullet. You know, it's okay. You're gonna go on there. Everyone you know is on there. It's like super humiliating. My handyman messaged me. A kid who, I work at a school, and a kid's dad messaged me. And I'm just like, this is sick. And that's what it is. It's really a humiliating, sick thing. And you go on there and you're like, this is a world of fun possibilities, and you like look on there, and it's just like all these people just like staring into their webcam, like taking photos, like, and they're like, it's like, what are your interests? And they're like, music, movies, television, and you're like, oh, those aren't even interests, like that's so general, you have no personality. And so my friend broke up, and I was like, you should try internet dating. So she goes on there, and she's like, oh my God, it's so much worse than you could ever, you know, and I was like, it's okay, we'll just search, they have criteria you can search for. So she was like, well, he has to be taller than me, and I was like, okay, because you're 5'1", so we'll just, he has to have a beard. And I was like, okay, they all have that because it's Asheville, so maybe Asheville. She was like, he has to be chubby. And I was like, okay. And she's like, you know what, I don't even know if I'm ready to date. I think I just want to have sex. And I said, okay, you're looking for a fat guy with a beard, he'll fuck you. And you're looking for him on the internet. I just say, they do have those. They have those, no problem. Okay, so, here's what else I was going to say. So I went internet dating, and I've made all these platonic friends internet dating, which is the kind of thing I would do. I'm just like platonic woman. So I'm like, have all these platonic best friends, and then I hang out with them, and then they tell me about like other people they're dating on the internet dating, and I'm just like, geez, like, what is happening? But so about a year and a half ago, I met a guy who I really liked in real life, you guys. He wasn't even on the internet. He was in real life. And he's a comedian and I'm a comedian. So I saw him and I was like, I love you. Like, I'm in love with you. I love you. I loved him so much. And I loved him, but I didn't meet him for real. I just loved him from afar. And I looked him up on the internet and he's so funny and I watched his videos and I was like, oh my God, I'm in love. And so I found him on Facebook and I messaged him. I was like, you're so great. I'm your biggest fan. And then he was like, great. What did I do? And I was like, I saw your show, whatever, it was great. And he was like, oh, you can be my Facebook friend. And I was like, oh no. Because at the time, I didn't want to be friends with anyone who wasn't my real life friend. I was doing that relationship with Facebook, which now I just gave up. I was like, okay, whatever, we can all be friends with strangers, I don't care. But at the time, I was like, I don't want to be Facebook friend. So then I saw him the next week at a show, and he did a bit. He was like, my biggest fan won't even be my friend. And I was like, oh my God, and I never met him, so I introduced myself. And anyway, I loved him, and I ended up seducing him, and we had a romance. And let me refer to my thing again. Okay, so, he lived in New York, or he lives in New York, and so we ended up having this long-distance romance, which was, I don't know how to describe it. It was super passionate. It was super, it was just really intense for me. I don't know if it was very intense for him, but I was just like so into him. And we would be long distance, you know, we'd hardly ever see each other, but our relationship was like based on texts, which is a weird relationship. I know it sounds really weird, but that's what it was. And so he would send me all these texts, like I'd be sleeping and he'd like send me a text in the middle of the night, and it would be like the most witty, poignant, amazing text ever, and I was just like, oh, I love you, and I love my text, and I'd like sleep next to my phone, and I'm like, this is my relationship, and it was awesome. And then it was so great. And one time I went to visit him in another city, and I told my friend, you know, I was like going to his hotel to stay with him, and she was like, that is some big girl shit right there. And I was like, yeah. You know, I was wearing like my little sneakers and my hoodie, and then I like the duffel bag, and she was like, that is some big girl shit. And I was like, yeah, this is like the most womanly thing I've ever done, is like go see my like boyfriend guy, whatever, my romance guy in a hotel, like it, because I've never even been in a hotel without my parents, you guys. I'm 30, but I don't know how to be a grown up, I've never been in a hotel. So I was like, this is so sexy, I'm going to a hotel, it's awesome. So I get to the hotel, and I was going up in the elevator with a stranger, and he said something like, what are you doing? Or like, why are you here? Because he was there for like his child's soccer conference, but he was like, oh, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm going to have sex in a hotel. How do you know? Anyway, it was cute. Okay. So whatever, it was a sexy time. And there was this moment, anyway, it was a really romantic weekend, and it was really special, and we had all these moments, and there was this one moment where we were standing on a bridge, and we were looking out into the distance, and the sun was setting. It was like really beautiful, and we turned around and we were walking back, and he held my hand, and it was like my heart exploded. And it was so funny because it's just hand holding, right? But it's like, hand holding is so cute. Like, you kind of can't underestimate the value of hand holding. And it was like the kind of feeling that a 13-year-old girl would have when someone holds her hand. Except I was 29, and I was like, oh, you know, this is what love does. Like, it just reduces you to being like, I feel like a schoolgirl, you know? Like, it just brings you back to this kind of adolescent place in your heart. So it was just a really sweet moment. I was like, you know what? I think no one's ever held my hand my whole life. I've had romances or whatever, but I was, at that moment, I was like, I don't think anyone's ever held my hand, because I don't remember, and it definitely never felt like this before. It was really sweet. And so, okay, so then it was Christmas time. I went back to see my family, and I see my grandma, and the first thing she says to me is, did you meet a man? Which is like the thing she says to me every time I see her, like since I was like 10. She's done it. And it's been like 20 years worth of that, right? So I'm like, no, I don't know any man. I never met a man. Oh my God, is that 9 minutes?
Yeah. Keep going, keep going.
There's so much more. I'm going to go.
Keep going,
okay.
keep going.
So much more. Okay, she was like, did you meet a man? And I was like, yeah, Grandma, I met a man. So then everyone is just like hysterical, right? they're just like, there's a man. And I was like, okay, he's a comedian. They're like, oh my God. My mom was like, he must be on YouTube. So they get the YouTube on, and they blow up his face. Like, they put it in my grandma's lap, and the volume's all the way up, because she's like deaf, because she's 98. So the volume's all the way up, and it's like his huge face talking. And I was like, okay, this is hilarious. And like super humiliating. And so then she like watches the whole thing, and she goes, I don't get it. And I was like, Grandma, you're 98. Like, you might not understand contemporary stand-up comedy. Like, maybe that's not your thing that you understand. And then she was like, he's not handsome enough. And I was like, okay. Whatever, Grandma. He's super handsome, you guys. So anyway. So then, my family's so happy. Okay. So I've never had a Valentine's Day, right? Because I'm like perpetually single, so I don't know what it's like to have a sweetheart on a Valentine's Day. And okay, I'm gonna skip that part. And so, okay, Valentine's Day comes around. So of course he dumps me like on Valentine's Day, right? Last year, 1 year ago. And I was just like, oh, it's so sad. And I was like, I'm gonna keep going because Ben said. And it just makes you feel insane. You know, if someone dumps you abruptly, you're like, I'm insane now. Like, I don't know how to be sane. This is just, it's too much, you know. And I know we're long distance and blah, blah, we're never gonna make it, you know. And I didn't care. I was like, I accept this for what it is. I don't demand that, I don't wish it was something else. Like, I understand that he's gonna meet someone else, it's fine. But it was super abrupt, and it was super brutal. And, so I went insane. Oh, and so then I had times where I had like the 3 bravest moments of my life in the wake of this dumping. The first one was I went to work the next day, and I was working in school, and it was my job to stand in front of the school and greet everyone in the morning. So I go to school, and people come in the door, and I was like, hello, good morning, oh, take off your hat, good morning, how are you doing, good morning, take off your hood, good morning, remember to walk, good morning. And so I'm all dumped, right? I'm like insane. And I was like, good morning. I don't even know what I said. Somehow I got through it. That was like one of the bravest moments of my life. The second bravest moment of my life was when I wrote him a letter because he was being really freaky. He wouldn't return my call. He wouldn't communicate with me. He was like, oh, here's another piece I left out. I'm just going to say really quick. I had booked a flight to go see him. And when he dumped me, he was like, oh, I can't be in a long distance relationship. Don't come, cancel your flight. So, which is basically like, I never want to see you again, cancel your flight, which was uncancelable too. I lost the money. And then he like never communicated with me again. So I was just like, I'm insane. So I wrote him a letter. I wrote him a sane letter, you guys. Don't even worry. I wrote him a sane, thoughtful letter. It was a good letter. Which he never wrote me back. But anyway, that was the second bravest thing I did, was write him a letter. And then he never fucking wrote me back. And then he came to town one day and he called me, and the screen on my phone was broken, so it's like a gamble. I'm like, who is it? I don't know. And it was like, I hadn't communicated with him in months. I was like, I'm in town, do you want to hang out? And hanging out with him was the third bravest thing I ever did. After we had never spoken for months, and I was like, what is this gonna be like? Like, are we gonna talk about things? No, we weren't. We were just gonna have a bunch of like inane bullshit kind of talking, which is like kind of the level that he operates on. And I was like, okay, I understand, I accept it, you know, we're different, and he doesn't communicate about feelings, and he's not a good partner for me anyway, because I'm super into feelings, so it's okay. But so then it's okay. So then I was super down and super insane and stuff. So I was like, okay, I'm on my quest to regain my self-esteem. So the first thing that when he dumped me, my friend, who's also a comedian, the first thing she said was, F that B, you're funnier. And I was like, wow, that is the only thing I want to hear. That's like the best thing I want to hear. Because I don't have to put him on a pedestal. Like, I can be funny too, and I can be good too, and I can love myself. I don't have to idolize other people. And then I was like, I was going to go to Victoria's Secret and buy some sexy underwear, and then I was going to go visit him, but then he dumped me. So then I was like, I don't even need sexy underwear because I'm just alone. But then I was like, I'm just going to go buy some sexy underwear anyway. So I go to Victoria's Secret, which I've never been to in my entire life. And it's in the mall, which I don't even know how to go to the mall. So I go in there and I'm like, I'm like peeking in. I'm like, I don't know how to why don't you go in there? But I went in, and this woman approaches me with this headset, and she's like, what do you want? You know, and, it's like, and everything's just like leopard and like neon with like lace and like heart in the crotch. And I was like, this is awesome. I was like, this is the most sophisticated woman living. So I go in there, and I like asked her for this one thing, and she's like, okay, go to the front and go to the panty bar. And I was like, panty bar, really? And it is. There's just like these vats of panties, and everyone's just sticking their fingers in the panties. So I was like, I'm shopping. I was like trying to fit in. And then I found something I wanted, and I was like, can you try it on? Like, is it so weird that you want to try it? So finally I was like, can you try it on? I don't know. And she was like, yes, you can try it on, you guys. You just try it on over your regular underwear. It's okay. So anyway, that was a successful trip. So then I was like, I'm hot. I'm so hot. You know, I lost this weight too. My friends were like, you're so hot. And I was like, I don't even know how to be hot. Like, I don't even know how it works. But anyway, I was like, I'm hot. So then I went to see a psychic. And my story's on the story, guys. I'm sorry it's such a long story, and it's going to end soon. I went to see a psychic, and I was telling her all this stuff about my life, and she was like, how's your love life? And I was like, well, I was just talking to myself. I was like, well, I've never had a boyfriend. And then I just started weeping, and I was like, geez, this is like so intense. Like, I guess I have all this like pent up weirdness in my soul about this issue in my life. Like, I feel like I don't care, but I guess I'm really humiliated about it in my soul. And I just started weeping. So then she was like, okay, she like did this spell to like get rid of all my bad energy or whatever, which was awesome. I was like, that's awesome. And she was like, you need to follow your dreams, and you need to do what makes you truly feel alive. And I love her. I was like, yes, thank you. You're the best. So I realized that what makes me feel alive is doing storytelling and doing comedy, and I'm a puppeteer too. And I was like, you know, the thing that I feel really passionate about is art. So I quit grad school. I decided to quit grad school, and because it was on the same night as storytelling night. So I quit, and I'm going to quit my job, and I decided that I'm going to follow my artistic passion. And I also realized that your chakras, like, do you guys, it's Asheville. Chakras, okay, your chakra, your spleen chakra is your sexuality chakra, but it's also your creativity chakra. And for me, that really makes sense that they're aligned. And I feel like I have all this passion and aliveness, but for me, it works in the form of art. So I'm sure that someday I will get a boyfriend or whatever, but I'm not just gonna wait around. I'm gonna do what makes me truly feel alive and passionate and emotionally brave. So I'm following my art career, you guys.